Hello, my crochet friends. This is Emily with Crochet or Cry. I'm excited to share a color changing video with you, how I color change and how I manage my yarns that are attached to my piece for tapestry crochet for these kind of projects. I work my pieces back and forth, so I'm working the front side and the back side as I work, and I work them a little bit differently. I sacrifice a little bit of the look of the back of them so that the front can look a little bit prettier. And I'm going to show you how I do that and why I do that. I really want you guys to love tapestry crochet. So any way that I can make it easier for you, please tell me. Put your questions below. I will try to make a video for you. So yeah, let's just jump in because I'm excited for you to learn. All right, my friends, I'm going to show you how to add a new color to your piece. I am using as an example my little ghost pattern here. We are currently on row 3, so I did 2 rows of 19 single crochet stitches on top of my foundation chain. We are on row 3 right now, which is 7 green stitches, 1 black stitch, and 11 green stitches. So I'm going to show you how to add your first color, so we need black, and we're also right here, so we're working the row this way. You want to make sure to keep track of what side you're working now that you're adding colors. So we're on row 3, which is front face. So odd number rows are the front of the piece is facing you. So this is the side we want to keep pretty. So any loose ends you want to keep on the back side. Both sides, even when you flip this way, if you're working, you're going to keep it in front because this is the back side, because we're going to go back and forth, back and forth. So we're on stitch number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I didn't finish that 7th stitch, even though that first sequence is 7 stitches. You're going to color change on that 7th stitch. So when you have a color change, you're going to change on the last stitch in that sequence. So we're going to start that stitch normal. You're going to insert your hook, yarn over, pull through. Once you have the 2 loops on your hook, you're going to go ahead and drop this yarn to the wrong side of your piece, which is this side because the front side is facing us. And we're going to drape over your new color over your hook. Boink. Oh my gosh. There we go. And we're going to pull that through. Yay. Okay, so here's where it gets a little bit hard in the beginning. Just making sure everything still has proper tension when you change. So now we have the black on the hook. Our green is now on the wrong side of the piece, and so your green is now on the wrong side of the piece. Your black is now on the hook, and you can get ready to start using that one. But we just want to make sure everything, so you can give this a little tug down here. You just make sure everything is at your same tension that you normally are at. So it just takes a minute to get used to color changing and grabbing everything and holding everything. Now you're holding a couple extra yarns. So now we have the black on your hook. You're gonna insert your hook and do another single crochet stitch. Now, because you're only doing 1 stitch here and you color change on the last stitch in your sequence, you're not even gonna finish 1. You're gonna yarn over, pull through. You've got 2 black on your hook, and you're gonna immediately switch back to white, which this is where I say I yarn under at the color change. It does not matter. You can yarn over. But I've always yarned under when I change. So I yarned under, pulled it through. Now I have the green on the hook again. And in tapestry crochet, the traditional tapestry technique is carrying your yarns within your stitches. So I don't need the black anymore in this row because the black is finished in this row. I only needed 1 stitch in this whole row. So I'm actually going to drop my black, and I'm not going to carry it here because I don't need it anymore in that row. I only carry it when I am going to need it again, and then you can drop it again to the wrong side of your piece when you don't need it. So then I'm going to go ahead and turn when I come back onto the next row, I can pick it back up again right where it was hanging. So let me show you how I do that. Let me finish this row. However, so now because I'm working the front side of my piece, when you're working the front side, you can carry yarns within your stitches. I mean, you can carry them on both sides. I just find that it gives you a little bit of a cleaner, more defined image if you don't carry on the back side. And so on the front side, I always carry when I need, when I have several sequences of that same color, I will carry that color to the next sequence. Right now, because I don't need the black in another sequence, I can hang this part of it down, but I have the loose end from this black that I can sew into my stitches immediately. So I'm going to show you how I sew in um, and how I carry. And I mean, this is the tapestry crochet technique. And this is why I hardly ever have any ends to sew in. I sew them in as I go. So I'm going to go ahead and sew this into my single crochet stitches as I go. Notice that I'm just carrying it flat across the top and I am just single crocheting around it. See, and now we have our sequence of 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 1 black. And now we're gonna, it said 11 green stitches. So I am carrying this one just to sew it in so it's not loose hanging. And I will sew it in until it's completely covered. And have a little bit hanging out. You can cut that later if you want to, or you can leave it because this is again, this is the back side and this is the front. So we just want the front to be pretty. But notice how these stitches, they cover it right up. You can't even see it in there. So the more you're carrying within, the more you will be able to see through. Sometimes with black and white, you can see it better because white is, you can see black through white a little bit easier than this is blended a little bit easier. I mean, if you look up close, you can see probably some of the black in there. But that's just how I do it. I always carry my yarns on the front side when needed. On the back side, I don't carry any yarns within my stitches because they do. So notice on the back side, those black yarns, they are showing through a little bit on the back. And that's why if I carry them on the back side, that's what it would look like on the front. And I don't want that show through. So what we're going to do, I finish this row, we're going to chain 1 at the end and turn. So now we're working on row 4. For row 4, we have 10 green, 3 black, and 6 green stitches. Oh my goodness. So we're going to go ahead and work the 10 green stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. So now we're on our 10th stitch and we're going to color change during that stitch because we had a sequence of 10. Again, we're working the wrong side. So all of our tails and everything are hanging towards us now. So here's our 10th stitch. We're going to insert our hook, start our stitch, and now we have 2 loops on our hook. We're going to hang this on the wrong side of the piece, which is forward now. It's towards you now. And you're going to pick up your black that's already attached. So yarn under, you're going to pull it through these 2 hoops. So here's where it gets really easy to skip stitches. Don't miss that stitch under there. Now you have black on your hook. All right. So now we're going to do 3, and we want to make sure to, like, you want to kind of follow the pattern here. So the 3 black stitches here, there's 1, 2, 3, and it's centered with the one below it. So that your second stitch here is going to be into the black one. So you just want to make sure they're all like matching up. Okay. So I need 3. So now I dropped my green to the wrong side. Make sure everything is, good and tight, not too tight, but so my first stitch is in this green one right here. Make sure you don't skip it. It's so easy to skip stitches, especially on the wrong side. I don't know why. Right when you color change, it's hard to see. So I have 1 right into that black one, 2, 3. So because we're working the wrong side, we're not carrying our stitches, or I mean, our, this is our inactive yarns right here, the yarn we're not using. Um, we're not going to carry it within our stitches because I'm working the wrong side of the piece. So instead, we're just dropping and picking back up. So here I'm going to drop this. I'm switching back to green for the last 6 stitches, dropping it to the wrong side of the piece, and we're going to pick back up, and we're going to drape it over and pull it through. Okay, so now you have 3, I know the black is so hard to see. 1, 2, 3 black stitches. We have our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 green stitches, and then we need 6 more. Yeah, 6 more for this row. So, and again, this is just dropped to the wrong side. 6. Okay, we're going to chain 1 and turn. So now we are working the front side. So see how this is already looking? Get out of here. This is really, it's trying to focus on that ball. It's driving me crazy. Okay, see how this side is looking like super clean, and we're already like looking a little messy back here. It's because this side, it doesn't matter. It can be whatevs. I mean, some people care about what the back look like. If you do, you can carry your colors all the time, so the back and front will look the same. It just won't be like as clean on one side, which is fine. Doesn't matter. Do what you like. Okay, so now our next row, row 5, we're working the front side again. So now we're adding another color, and I'm going to show you, you know, how we do that and how I carry. So this one is just, it's a fun one. It's 6 green, 1 black, 1 white, 1 black, and then 10 again. So we're going to add another color in here. 6 green, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then on the 6th stitch, we're going to change to black. Now my black is already attached, and because we're working the front side, we're doing the tapestry technique where we carry our yarns within our stitches. And now we have like a few stitches here to be able to carry with. I'm gonna switch to black, pull it through, and then now I'm carrying my green within my stitches because I'm gonna need it again in this row. Because the end of the row has the 10 stitches at the end. So since I need the green again, I'm going to carry it within my stitches so that it's just easy to pick back up when I need it. If I didn't need green again in that row, I would just drop it. But I do need green again in this row. So this one is going to be fun. We're going to do 1 black, 1 white, 1 black stitch all while we're carrying. I also, this loose float from the back, I sew those in to my stitches as well. I don't know why, I just always have, because you can hide things well. When you're working the front side, it hides stitches within really well, and I've just always done that. So I kind of just grab everything. You don't have to do that. If you don't, you'll just have these loose ends like going across the back of your piece, which is fine too. If you're doing like a tote bag or something where you don't want these loose ends because they'll get caught on stuff, then you can sew them in. I just sew them in because habit. So we're going to do 1 black stitch. So insert. When you have 1 stitch like this, you just don't even finish that first stitch before you change. So we have 1. Now we're adding our new color. We need a white. 1 white stitch. So we're going to drape that one over. And again, because we're working the front side of the piece, we're going to carry our loose end within just to sew it in so that I don't have to sew it in later. But I don't need the white anymore in this row, so I can just drop. Well, I'm still going to make this stitch. Hold on. So right now I am carrying my black within, my green, because I need the black again in the next stitch. I'll need the green again. I'm going to carry this loose end to sew it in, and then I'm gonna do my 1 white stitch over all of those. So I only need one, so I'm not even gonna finish that one. I'm gonna switch back to black. It gets a little confusing after you start adding a few, but you get used to it, I promise. So we're dropping the white now. I don't need the white anymore in that row, so I'm gonna drop that one. And then I'm gonna pull the black through. So now we have one more black stitch. I'm carrying the tail of the white one to sew it in. I'm carrying the green because I still need it, but I dropped the white because I no longer need it. So now I'm going to stitch around these two. One stitch. And then we're going to go ahead and switch back to green. So now I'm going to drop the black because I no longer need the black in that row anymore. But I am going to continue to carry this tail just to sew it in. So if you add a new color while you're working the wrong side of the piece, you can just let it hang until you get to the front side and sew it in when you're on the next row on the front side. I don't like sewing in loose ends with the, the tapestry needle. I do it as little as possible because I don't like to do it. And so I sew in anything that's loose when I'm working the front side. I just sew it right in. So yeah, if you added a new color here, you don't want to carry it on the back side. You don't want to carry any colors within your stitches on the back side. If you're wanting to do like my technique. But so yeah, when you add a new color in, you would just leave it hanging on this side. And then once you work the front side again, you would carry it within your stitches and it would be all gone. So now we have, I think it was 10 more stitches, and I'm going to carry that white. And now we are at the end of row 5. We have our sequence of 6, 1 black, 1 white, 1 black, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 green. And so that's our first 5 rows. Yay! Let me just show you. So let's just pretend on this row. Okay, so let's say I need to add a color right here on my 3rd stitch. So I'm going to add a color. Say it needs black over here. So I can go ahead and pick this one up from way back here, and I can bring it over and pull it through. So now you want to make sure it's not too tight or your piece will get kind of bunched and distorted. So I pulled it from that side. Now you can kind of pull these tight, pull this to the wrong side. We're working the wrong side right now. Make sure this isn't too tight. That's the biggest thing. I mean, you don't want it super loose, but you definitely want to make sure it's not too tight or else it will distort your image. So now we have that hooked. We can continue in black and say this entire row, almost entire row is black, and then I'll show you how I reconnect it. So we're just pretending on this row. This is just an example for you. So just to show you what I do with bigger gaps, this is where I add intarsia technique sometimes. Intarsia crochet is where you have a separate ball of yarn for every sequence. So for example, if you're like, well, I don't want to pick this one up and bring it all the way over here to pick it back up. It's just like, I mean, this is fine. But if you have a big piece and you have a big gap between the color sequences, sometimes it's easier just to add another ball of green right here, and then you would continue. So you would have a green ball attached on this side and on this side, but it would keep you from having to carry them across like long distances. This one's not too long, so I'm fine with it. I'm gonna go ahead and show you how I carry across the like longer gaps like this. So I'm just gonna go ahead and let's say we have one more stitch here, and I gotta pick up the green again. So we're gonna pick it back up. pull it through, and then again, make sure that this is not connected too tight. Like stretch your fabric and make sure you're able to stretch it to where it will need to be without this being too tight. Right, so I feel good with that. So now I can go ahead, and this is dropped to the wrong side. And we're going to put the last 2 stitches in right here. So this is what that row is going to look like on the back side. You're going to have all these loose. See, it starts to look a little bit crazy in the back. So now I'm going to show you what I do when I work the front of this. So we're going to chain 1 and turn. Again, this is just an example. This isn't how this pattern actually is, but just to show you when there's like bigger sequences like this. So let's say I have 3 green stitches. 1, 2. Now I'm working the front side, so I'm carrying everything within my stitches. I am pulling up this and carrying that just so that's not loose, even though it can be loose. It's fine. I just do it. I don't know. It's a habit, all right? And I just always liked that they weren't like loose on the back, you know? So I have 2 stitches. I'm gonna do 3 green stitches. So I have 3 as my third one. I'm gonna switch to black. Boop. Now we have black on the hook. We have this loose float from the prior row. I'm also going to carry my green because I know I'm going to need it again at the end of the row. So I'm carrying this, and then once I get over here, I'll probably carry this piece in, but it's not, sometimes when they're picked up like that, like they don't need to, you don't want them to be too tight, so you can just leave them. It doesn't matter. It truly doesn't matter what the back looks like, you guys. Unless you care. If you care, then you care. So we're going to do this whole row, and we're going to carry these within. And this is obviously assuming that we don't have any white in these rows, but our white is already attached, so we're just leaving it. So again, I'm stitching around these, and when you do tapestry crochet on the front side, it hides them within the stitches so well. Look at it. It's amazing. It's like magic. You want to give them a little like tug every once in a while, make sure they're not getting super bunched up, or else they will start like showing through to the front a little bit. So I just give them little tugs, make sure you don't like pull them too tight, and then you just continue. Yeah, but it's a little bit harder carrying in the front because you're trying to pay attention to what you're carrying and what you're not carrying. I mean, it's not hard at all. I don't know why I said the word hard. It's just a little bit more attention needing, I guess. So now let's say, you know, there's one more black stitch right here. We carried that with us, and look at that, that loose float isn't there anymore. This one is. I'm just going to leave that one because I don't want to pull it and then it's too tight right here. So that'll just be loose. Again, it doesn't matter. I always have random loose ends on the back of mine. So we're switching back to green right here. So it's within my stitch, so it's just right here ready to go. You're just gonna put it on the hook and look, you're ready to go. So now I'm gonna actually drop the black because I don't need the black anymore in this row, and we're just gonna do the last 3 stitches in green. And then that row is done. So obviously these 2 last rows weren't actually what the pattern is, but I'm just trying to show you how I carry my yarns and how I manage my yarns as I'm working. You will in some of my patterns, there's going to be a lot more colors added, and again, you just carry them as needed. Drop them when you don't need them anymore to the wrong side. You can carry them on the right side, or you can leave these loose like this. It's the front side that we care about the most. When you're carrying lots of yarns, it gets tingly. Again, if you have big gaps or just you're carrying too many colors within, there's a lot of colors in a specific pattern, you can add another ball to the other side to release some of the bulk of that. The more yarns you have attached, the more tangles you're going to get, and the more it's going to just be more yarns to manage, you know. So hopefully this is helpful for y'all. I would love to know if you have any questions for me. I know a lot of people have different ways of hiding yarns. So I know that this is actually combining three different techniques. It's tapestry crochet on the front, fair isle, which is like a knitting technique, but it's where you drop and pick back up, and then intarsia when needed. I add extra balls of yarn when there's too much bulk or too big of gaps. So yeah, I'm basically combining these three techniques to make my own technique, which is crazy. But I feel like everybody does them a little bit differently. It's totally okay however you do them. Do it so that it makes you happy. Do it the way that's easiest for you. Do it so that your piece turns out exactly how you want it to look. So hopefully this is helpful. Please let me know if you have any questions. Love you.